sangre está.
Hi guys, so good evening and welcome back to my magical world. It's me, Frostbite Goddess, your favorite celebrity here in the Philippines. Yan, sobrang katin ng kamay ko. Maybe it's gonna rain money. So, it's 11:24 in the evening right now. And we are just going to finish reading pages 219 and 220 of the book Mastery. So, ayan. Let's just fix this and finish it. Well, the good news is, yung theme ko ngayon is for holidays, but it's not yet, holiday, but, malapit na yung July, and I can't wait. So, let's start. Dali lang. Kumalma. You need to hydrate yourself and sobrang the days are passing and all of this. Later, chikahin ko kayo if nasa mood ako. Later. So, this revealed flaws to be worked on and gave them a feel for the product that could never be had in the abstract. The emphasis was not on the parts but on the overall flying experience, not on power but on control. Since money was a factor, supreme importance was placed in ingenuity, in getting the most out of the list. The differences between the two approaches can be seen in the analogies they chose to base their designs on. The abstract thinkers opted for the ship analogy, working on the similarity of navigating an alien medium, alien medium, which made them place importance on stability. The Wright brothers, the Wright brothers chose the bicycle, which emphasized the rider or pilot, the user friendliness of the machine, and its overall functionality. Focusing on the pilot instead of the medium ended up being the right answer to the puzzle because it led to the design of something that could be maneuvered. Okay? So from that starting point, a more complex airplane could be easily evolved. Understand, mechanical intelligence is not a degraded form of thinking as compared to abstract reasoning. It is in fact the source of many of our reasoning skills and creative powers. Our brain developed to its present size because of the complex operations of our hands. In working with resistant materials to create tools, our ancestors developed a pattern of thinking that transcends manual labor itself. The principles behind mechanical intelligence can be summarized as follows. Whatever you are creating or designing, you must test and use it for yourself. Separating out the work will make you lose touch with its functionality. Through intense labor on your part, you gain a feel for what you are creating and doing the work, and you see and feel the flaws in the design. You do not look at the parts separately, but at how they interact, experiencing what you produce as a whole. What you are trying to create will not magically take off after a few creative bursts of inspiration, but must be slowly evolved through a step-by-step process to correct the flaws. So in the end, you win through superior craftsmanship. Okay? Not marketing. This craftsmanship involves creating something with an elegant, simple structure, getting the most out of your materials, a high form of creativity. These principles work with the natural bent of your brain and are to be violated at your own peril. So we have number 4. This is a new subtopic, which is natural powers, like like myself, I possess it. Let's read this, guys. Okay, so after graduating from architecture school in Spain in 1973, Santiago Calatrava experienced some anxiety at the thought of rushing into an architecture practice. He had ambitions early in life of becoming an artist, but gravitated toward architecture as a more expansive form of expression, something functional yet sculptural, something that could be realized on a large public scale. Architecture is a strange profession. It involves so many constraints when it comes to actually realizing a structure, the desires of the client, the budget, the materials available, the landscape, and even political issues. In the works of great architects in history such as Le Corbusier, tama ba yung pronunciation? I'm not really sure. So, we can see a lot of their personal style in the finished products, but with many others, their work becomes overwhelmed by the various constraints and interferences. Calatrava felt that he had not developed a sufficiently large vocabulary or mastered enough elements to be able to assert himself. If he went to work at a firm, his creative energies would be buried beneath all of the commercial pressures, and he would never recover. And so he made an unusual decision. He would attend the Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich to gain a degree in civil engineering. So, if you are an engineer, guys, if you happen to be one, so, syempre, I'm so proud of you. You know, nahirap yun. Like, math, overall. Kaya, I do believe that you guys are a treasure. I have a friend. So, paano ba? Basta gay siya. So, but he's so smart. I don't know if he wanted to be called he or she. So, I'm just calling him by his, I'm calling him him Bebu. So, yeah, he's so smart. You know that you can actually tell right away when somebody talk, right? So, ganun. Pero tanga din yun sa pag-ibig. Like, maybe myself. So he wanted to become an engineer so that he could understand the limits of what was possible in designing buildings and structures. He had the idea of somebody attempting the construction of buildings that could move, transgressing some of the most fundamental principles of architecture. For such a purpose, he studied designs by NASA, in which various devices had been made that could fold up and expand, making them practical for space missions. Such designs required mastering new engineering principles that Calatrava immersed himself in at the institute. So, you know very well or that the information that we are all receiving are controlled. Like, everything is being controlled. So, you and I, both of us, don't really get the whole picture. So that's why you have to learn to really distinguish certain truth, in different forms. So basta, you'll know that when you focus on your transformation and yourself, you will not be persuaded, or you will not be manipulated easily. Okay. So after graduating in 1981 with an engineering degree, he finally began his practice as an architect in engineering. He was now well versed in the technical aspects of his job and the basic requirement for completing a work, but no one had instructed him in the creative process itself. He would have to learn and invent such a process for himself. His first big project came in the 1983 when he was asked to design the facade of an already existing structure, an enormous warehouse of Ernsting, a well-known clothing manufacturer in Germany. He decided to cover the structure with untreated aluminum. This would tie the entire building to get together, but on each side the sunlight would create different, sometimes dazzling effects. To Calatrava, the key part of the design was that of the three loading bay doors, each on different sides of the warehouse. Here he could experiment with his ideas of movement and foldability, and so, not certain where or how to begin the actual process, he started to sketch out various possibilities for these doors. As a child, he had loved to draw. He was constantly sketching. He had become so proficient with a pencil or brush that he could draw almost anything with great speed and accuracy. He could sketch as fast as he could think. His innermost visions translated with ease onto paper. Without any sense of where he was headed, he began to draw in watercolors, putting everything that came to him on paper almost in a free associative manner. So, let's cut it there. So, yan. So, ano ba yung kukwento ko sa inyo kanina? So, was so busy lately, and yun nga, there's road accidents and so on. Siguro kwentuhan ko kayo sometimes kasi pangit kasi if I'm going to ano ba, it's gonna be the end of this video, diba? Hindi masyadong I don't like it. I wanted to make kwento with its whole what really happened. So yan, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us, and for the ano ba, nawala ko, basta yun na, you know that. So I'm gonna see you again.
Ya y caíste en cornisa y el cuerpo tibio no te deja pensar. Si te gustó no niegues con risas, no hay verdad más grande que diga que a buena racha después a remar.